right, everybody. Welcome back. It's Modern Micro, and I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna start off right into it. You guys see on the screen SPY 700, SPX 7,000. Um, Honestly, I didn't expect this. I'll just say it straight up. I did not anticipate a straight rally, 12 green days in a row, 11 green days in a row on the NASDAQ. I don't think this is anything fundamental as much as, the Iran war, Iran conflict, settled. Realistically, that could have just been a lower high, but I feel like there was a lot of capitulation. I feel like a lot of people were off sides, and as a result, we just V-shaped straight to all-time highs. I There's not much to it. It. I think this is very technical, the very systematic on how this unfolded. You know, Fundamentally, yeah, there was a change, but that was 2 weeks ago. If we really want to talk about de-escalation, that was 2 weeks ago. That was when we were down here at 680s. You know, even closer to 670 when we had this initial pop. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think, especially unless there's a clear cut agreement, this shouldn't have happened. And so I think again, a lot of people were offsides. A lot of people believed that we were going to fall to previous highs, you know, possibly down here at this 610 range, but I don't see it. I don't. Where is it? Where is it, guys? And you guys seen, you guys know what I was doing. I was buying. I was buying heavily, um, and I haven't done anything all that much this week. I'm just riding the wave, enjoying how everything has unfolded, and it's been great. We see here, the spy hitting new highs, but I think this is just gonna be a squeeze higher again. We shouldn't have been here unless there was people outside, and because of that fact, I think there's gonna be a lot of money just being pumped into the market, and that doesn't come without you know any sort of drawdowns. Obviously, we've had 11 days in a row of straight green on the Nasdaq and basically on the S&P 500. But I just feel like a lot of people, you know, did anticipate a bigger drawdown, and FOMO were rushed into it. I don't. We You still see here on, and we can pivot to the NFP levels here. We see the Nasdaq barely crossing new highs, by about a couple dollars, but ultimately, it was a lot weaker, and outside of this move, tech was not leading. And like I said in our previous videos, tech wasn't leading until genuinely 2 weeks ago. And I think as a result, a lot of people believe that the energy sector, um, and you know, consumer discretionary, these kind of sectors would still continue to be a lot stronger commodities, right? Gold, silver, but that's not the case. That's not the case at all. We have a straight tech pump, guys. I mean, this is a straight tech pump. Crypto has lagged a little bit, but it has led as well since the March lows. It has also led. So I think this again, people probably positioned thinking this would be drawn out a little bit longer, this Iran conflict, but here we are. Um, we see XLK, Tech, again, like I said, just absolutely killing it. We see here at 152 is a new all-time high. I would anticipate that getting broken and pushed ahead. But if we're talking about levels, where we can go from here, I think it's pretty straightforward. Um, we went through all this resistance here, all these NFP levels that, tracked really well for the past couple months. And on the daily level, we see here just flying through them all the way up until our February NFP high. I think that would be our first target downside. Obviously, it's not a lot of points below, so I think this could be looked at as just one level here between 697 and 695. Hit that, and I think if we push a little bit lower, it'll be to 690. And so that's about a 1% move from upside to downside, and a little bit over, closer to 2%. And I think that's where eventually we'll see a retest. I mean, I don't know how strong this rally will be. Things don't go up forever. Things don't go down forever. But initial target 695.30, I think, first target, and then as low as 689.18 for our second target. Now, if you want to go any lower, which I don't believe we are, I truly don't think we would. I see 678 holding. And what I mean by that is, I am going to overlook this 682 level only for the sole reason that, I I think our March levels will hold a lot stronger than our April levels, only because we had Good Friday on that day, and the levels are a bit skewed, a bit not messed up, but the data that these April NFP levels are going off of are a bit odd, with only futures being open and then going into that same Monday as well, or the very next Monday, that is after that Friday, that Good Friday. So I wouldn't put too much weight on this April level, but rather, if these Marches will really hold, and it's a telltale sign as well, right? We see this March NFP high, and I'll walk you through it. If this March NFP high doesn't hold, right? This doesn't hold, it's the next level. And I don't think it's going to be just a small little, what is it, around 0.5% move. I think this will go as low as the March NFP low, which would be the 670, if we have that complete breakdown, right? And that's how it goes. These are levels. These are all magnets to price action. You just want to stay away from them as much as possible. Trade around them, not into them, right? So, for example, if we see some sort of breakdown here, wait until something gives you a sign that it will hold. For example, we see here on the 4-hour, and so that's the levels. Third level, third price target, total complete target would be 670, but probably more realistically 680 to 678 level here. This little area here. As for any pullback in this level, if we are deciding that this is it, this is the move. And what I mean by that, something that's telling you, we go down to the 4-hour, and this became very clear right here. Tagging this April NFP high, chopping around it, and then we see here just intraday, right? Well, this is not intraday. Give me a second. On the 1-hour, there we go. So we see here through April, right? We have We are hovering very well above this NFP zone, and we have this big range, but that's for a reason. Um, we open up here on Monday, chop around, even look below, and this day is where I was thinking, oh wow, we're really gonna sell off. But then we have intraday just a huge boom to the upside, breaching the April NFP high and jumping all the way up. Like I said, a magnet, guys. We see here, and this is a day where the ceasefire was announced for 2 weeks, right? That's what we talked about before. We seen a breach to NFP highs, and then boom, boom, just like that, a small little retest, and then boom, straight magnet to the March 2026 NFP low. We see here once we're in range, next level. What is the next level? Right here, 674. Got that. Boom. Hit it. Consolidated a little bit. Next level. Next, like an elevator. Like an elevator, guys. And so next level, 678 here. Consolidated a little bit. Retest. 674, this second level. Do we want to go higher? Do we want to go lower? Market made a decision. It does not want to go lower. So we must go higher. Boom. This 682 level hit, and wanted to make a decision, double top or continue going. Boom. Magnet. Once we're in here, this is where you decide to make a trade, right? If you see this not break down, we see here intraday not breaking down and just going higher, where it's gonna go. It's good. It's the 689 level, and that's where we ended that session, or that's where we opened up last session. We know our target was 689, 690. So boom, straight green candle off rip, got it, secured it. Above 690, 691, where we're going. 695, next level, boom, elevator to that. Now we open at 695. What's our target? It'll be 697. I'm here. Boom, hit it, back, retest even on this 30-minute or 1 hour candle, retest, boom, close above, and now we don't have any levels. We ran out of levels, guys. That's how insane this market has been. But yeah, that's smaller frame. That's the mindset of how these things kind of go, one step at a time, and you'll know because you have these NFP levels. Qs made it even more obvious. We see here on the daily, boom, gap up, sell off, but didn't break down, closed above this NFP high. So we'll go to the next, boom, that's here, and continue moving forward. Retest to 627, NFP high, boom, giant green candle. Very straightforward, very elegant, and very clear to understand. Now we're gonna look into our trades that we have. I know I said I didn't do much, and I'll be honest, I didn't do much, but I will review some of the trades I do have open. As you see here, I don't have any put credit spreads, call credit spreads. I am just gonna let the market do its thing. If you want to go lower, I have a couple levels, and that would be here on this April NFP high at 590, but that's on Qs. But we're so far from that now that I think I would just be on the sidelines until we get really close to that. Otherwise, I'll just let the market do its thing. And then we have 660 on SPY, and that's for any call and put credit spreads for the end of the month. 660 easy, and 584 or 590 64 on the Qs. So again, nothing so far in terms of credit spreads for the month. I'll just folding my arms for now, letting the markets do its thing. But I do want to do an update on my SoFi um, cash secured put. Um, I have written these SoFi $47 cash secured puts expiring January 21st, 2028, and I have an average of, let's see here, 28.38 on these puts, which I have 13 of, and we're doing pretty decent on them. I mean, I brought in, so it will be on average 28.38 per contract times that by 100. That's $2,838 on average per contract. 13 contracts open. That'll be a market value of, we'll see. We see here, right? A market value of about 36,000. Let's say round it up to 37,000, just for educational purposes. $37,000 of premium collected, and that has been what I've been trading around. This has acted like a stable coin, I'll be honest. For me, as the max that this contract has gone down has been around 10%, and that was just like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we're as high as $32, and I was down roughly for $400 each contract. You do the math on that. A little bit rough, but I'm still long term bullish on SoFi. I mean, I have my biggest position in it, um, and I think by end of 2027, if not for the end of this year, by the end of 2027, I see this being a at least at minimum $45 stock. My actual plan here is to roll this out another year or so. But if it comes to a point where SoFi is above 47, that's done on purpose, right? I don't want to be assigned these shares, but I am looking to collect the upside on this name and continuously write cover calls on my underlying shares. So in doing so, I have upside protection, really out of the money cash secured puts. I have time on my side. I don't have a lot of theta decay, but by the day that adds up, and I'll be selling covered calls against it. So that's it right here. It's done really well this past week. um, Down about 7.67%, meaning I'm technically up 7.67% on these. Um, and I want to really just manage this out. If, for example, I have an opportunity to, oh wow, if for whatever reason I do have an opportunity to, um, just sell these at a certain level, and so if it gets too far ahead of itself, I'll do it. I'll be honest, I will do it just because I would see opportunity costs elsewhere. But otherwise, I'll just keep on selling covered calls. This gives me the ability to sell covered calls on my shares, aggressive covered calls, that is, and then also have upside protection if the underlying stock would run away. So I'll do updates on this one. It's not too flashy. It's very boring, very very boring. It doesn't even have a great delta, 0.70 delta. So it's a really slow trade strategy, but I keep up with it every week and sell premium against it. So now we have my Bitmine immersions, $24.50 covered calls that I have, essentially $24.50 on the underlying of Ethereum. And I have my shares here being put up for sale, essentially. I have rolled this guy a little bit. We see here I did roll this guy from a 23.50 covered call expiring this week. I could have in theory held that through. I just don't. I sold these thinking that we would have one more week to really prepare. Um, and I would hold these until expiration. That was not the case. And instead, we had a straight just up rally, everything rally. And as a result, I mean, I've rolled these. I've collected more premium. I haven't um what you call it? I haven't paid to roll these. I got a credit for these, just a small $32 credit to roll, and buy some time, which is perfectly fine with me. As you guys see here with this 2028 cash secured puts, but yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna see where we end up. I don't want to take assignment here. I'll be very clear. I don't want to take assignment here only because my cost basis is around $28 on BMNR, and I'd rather just play the rolling game on this one. Now, that's not necessarily the case for Rocket Lab, as I would be open to taking assignment on these. The $78 covered call expiration of next week with an average credit of $2.80 or otherwise $280. And we see here my break even price is $80.80. So that'll give me an $80 exit if I do get a sign, and I will completely take that. Rocket Lab is a swing trade for me. Rocket Lab is a really great company that I have made a killing off of in the past, but I just see a better opportunity cost elsewhere. With Dutch Rose, and it's a great company, but a little bit too speculative for a very tight portfolio. A very I only have, outside of these three stocks, Rocket Lab, BMNR, SoFi, I have Robinhood, and that's it. I have a very concentrated portfolio, and I think don't want to add more risk. Maybe I'll keep 25 shares, 50 shares. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I'm willing to take assignment here, and or just play the rolling game. If Rocket Lab, let's say, goes to $80 next week, or by the end of this week, I might just play the rolling game and chase it up. It just fully depends on the trajectory of the underlying. If we consolidate and stay here, and these just data decay away, and I collect full premium, and we're around $73 like where we are right now, I might just sell another aggressive covered call. You see here, I had sold a $75 covered call for the end of this week, and I kind of got my ass handed on there. So overall, I mean, just looks as SPY 700. There's not too much to say, except for people were caught off sides. I didn't anticipate this, but I was prepared. But we were prepared. You see that in my old video. Did a lot of SoFi buying, Robinhood buying, and then I entered this buy and write for Rocket Lab. So I mean, that's about it. We'll see where we go from here. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day.